One of the most outdated ideas is to go to school, get a job, work hard, save money, stay out of debt, and invest long-term in the stock market. Why would anyone save money when trillions of dollars are being printed constantly? The wealth gap between the top 1% and the remaining 99% is growing rapidly. But it's not just about money. It's about taking a step back and seeing the larger picture. So, what should you do? Inside each of us, there's a poor person, and I still feel the presence of that poor mindset. Alongside, there's also a middle-class person seeking security. That middle-class individual craves a steady paycheck. And there's also a rich person inside us. The difference is that the rich mindset isn't taught to us. Instead, we're trained to go to school, get a job, and receive a paycheck, but not to understand how to grow wealth. In Rich Dad, Poor Dad, my rich dad never gave me a paycheck. He believed that taking a paycheck was one of the most limiting things in life. He said the moment you accept a paycheck, you've become an employee. And that's a mindset trap. This used to drive my poor dad, who worked for the government, absolutely crazy. "You must pay people," he would say. But Rich Dad wasn't against the paycheck per se. He just didn't want to be chained to money. As an entrepreneur, if my business folded, I'd simply start another one. I didn't need a paycheck or anyone else to look after me. If the government didn't like me, I'd just relocate to a country where entrepreneurs are welcomed. Entrepreneurship is not just about business. It's primarily a mindset and skill set. Small businesses and large corporations play by different rules, and the entrepreneurial mindset stands apart from both. It's not about whether you own a small business or work for a big one. It's about how you think, the skills you develop, and the rules you follow. If I were to advise someone considering the jump into entrepreneurship, I'd tell them what happened to me. I remember my last paycheck very clearly. It was both the best and worst day of my life. It happened while I was working in Puerto Rico for Xerox. My boss handed me what wasn't even a paycheck, but a bonus check, around $30,000, taxable, of course. When I looked at that check, I felt a mixture of excitement and discomfort. A coworker, John, approached me and said, "You'll be back." I asked him why, and he replied, "Because you're going to fail." I responded, "You failed and came back, but if I fail, I'm not coming back." That's the mindset you need. For years, I had no money and no paycheck. But that was exactly what my rich dad wanted for me, to go without that security blanket and become sharper, more resilient. The lack of a paycheck pushes you to test your character. Will you cheat or steal, or will you rise and become a better person? That's the gift of entrepreneurship. You discover who you truly are when you have nothing. People often focus only on their immediate circumstances, but you have to step back and see the bigger picture. When you look at the broader landscape, you'll notice that when something bad happens, something good is often on the horizon. But you must prepare. If you think the next 20 years will mirror the last 20, you're in for a rude awakening. When you and I buy milk, we check the expiration date. But people don't check the expiration date on their ideas. They still hold on to outdated beliefs, like getting out of debt. Instead, I leverage debt. I recently refinanced $300 million in debt, lowering my interest from 5% to 2.5%. The result? I made a fortune. Every month, more cash flows in because my cost of money is lower. While some financial advisors tell you to avoid debt, I say learn how to use it. When I returned from Vietnam in 1973, the first thing my rich dad told me was to go to school, not to learn about real estate, but to learn how to use debt and taxes. Debt and taxes are tools the wealthy use to grow richer, while they continue to cripple the poor and middle class. While some financial advisors tell you to avoid debt, I say learn how to use it. When I returned from Vietnam in 1973, the first thing my rich dad told me was to go to school, not to learn about real estate, but to learn how to use debt and taxes. Debt and taxes are tools the wealthy use to grow richer, while they continue to cripple the poor and middle class. We build businesses as entrepreneurs. We acquire real estate, and we avoid the stock market. This way, we control our income and our taxes. As both an entrepreneur and real estate investor, I pay zero taxes. When I earn $1 million, I reinvest it into real estate and secure a 4-to-1 return from the bank. I love banks, but the irony is, they're hurting everyone else. The financial system works against savers and wage earners, but rewards debtors and investors. Debt and taxes make the rich richer, while the same tools make the poor and middle class poorer. The traditional idea of going to school, getting a job, and investing for the long term is obsolete. The world changed in 1971 when Nixon took the US off the gold standard, and money became debt. So, what happens if we eliminate education altogether? The issue isn't the need for education, but the fact that our current system is outdated. With Moore's law, information now doubles every 18 months, making the knowledge you learn in school obsolete before you even graduate. Banks don't even want your money anymore. They have printed so much that cash is becoming worthless, leading to bubbles in stocks and real estate. That's why I say, savers are losers and cash is trash. People clinging to the idea of a high-paying job or getting out of debt are holding on to obsolete ideas. You should learn how to get into debt strategically and understand taxes. The reason the 1% continues to rise is that they understand how inflation and taxes work against the masses. Many people think being an entrepreneur is just about starting a business and making money, but that's far from the truth. A large portion of entrepreneurs in America are solo ventures. They pay the highest taxes and have the least financial understanding. This is why there is no such thing as a bad economy. While the external economy fluctuates, we each have an internal economy. The key to success lies in controlling your internal economy. If you believe your circumstances are bad, it's because your internal economy is weak.